Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Maria. If you are new here, this is a channel about spirituality, higher consciousness, the mysteries of the universe, alchemy, etc., etc. Welcome. Please subscribe so we can be friends on here. Today, I wanted to talk to you about how to raise your frequency and increase your vibration. But I'm going to be providing a fairly unique perspective in this video. We're not going to go into, the foods you should be eating. I mean, there are some things that are fairly standard. If you want to raise your vibration, you probably want to give up alcohol. You probably don't want to be eating meats or fish. Fish is a type of meat. And you want to be watching your consumption around, like anything that you're consuming that is lowering your vibration. You may want to cut it out. For instance, the news, right? Consumption, energetic consumption of mental constructs such as media, social media, the news does tend to lower your frequency. However, today I wanted to offer you a little bit of a different perspective. I find it ironic when people talk about raising vibrations without necessarily providing any input on the diagnostic of where your vibrations are. Granted, it's great to raise your vibrations regardless of what level you are on, right? We all could benefit from raising our vibrations, especially since the reality of third dimensional worlds is stacked up against us in a sense that there's always something happening in the ether, in the world, that is negative and is looking to and seeking to bring us down, right? So it almost feels like a struggle to keep the vibrations high. However, I find that just giving people general advice around raising their vibrations without understanding where they are at their current point in time kind of defeats the purpose. And so today I wanted to provide a slightly different framework. Here is one way of how you can think about raising your vibrations. First, you need to understand what is your default setting. What is that level or layer of your vibrations that is quote unquote normal to you? I think, and what I know to be true about human beings is this. There is a perception that our vibrations fluctuate up and down really, really heavily. And while this is strictly not incorrect, the fluctuation and the ebbs and flows are not as big as one might imagine. And so not very often, but all of us have this point of equilibrium, which is considered like a normal vibratory range or vibratory level for all of us. And that vibration lives in one of our chakras. I call it the assemblage point, but I really wanted to, and not me. In general, in spirituality, it's called the assemblage point, right? It's kind of like, what is your perception? What is that point, your vantage point of, from where you perceive the universe? The fancy word of calling it is the assemblage point. However, I wanted to keep it really simple for this video. So let's just say that on average, your vibrations are, quote unquote, located in a particular chakra. So when we are talking about raising your vibrations, we're really talking about one thing. We are talking about taking your vibrations where they are at and increasing them by one chakra. That's all it takes to raise your vibrations. It's baby steps, you guys, right? If you're located at the root center, at the base of your spine, and that is your vibratory kind of like comfort zone, right? You're not going to go to the crown. You're not going to go to the, to outer space right away. It's baby steps, right? And so when we are talking about raising our vibrations, it is extremely, extremely important to understand where each of you individually, where you're coming from. Gradually and over time, if you are doing the inner work, if you keep up with the spiritual journey, you will notice that your vibrations are automatically rising, and not maybe automatically, but gradually rising. And over time, the game of raising your vibrations is going to change. So today I wanted to provide you the framework that you can use right now, as well as for the rest of your lives, to raise your vibration. Because in order to raise your vibration, all you need to do is one chakra up, one chakra up, one chakra up. Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 7. That is a very, very simple game to play. So, but first things first, it all starts with a diagnostic. First, you need to understand what is your equilibrium state? What is your grand average? Where do you usually dwell? I would like to offer a couple of ways of understanding that, of doing that diagnostic. The easiest way for you would be to close your eyes in a meditative state and get really centered. So you can start focusing on your breath, right? You definitely don't want to have the busy, thoughts going and firing up on all cylinders. And you would want to imagine your chakras as 7 empty bowls of transparent bowls, essentially, or transparent cups, if you will. If you ask the universe the question, what chakra am I vibrating at? The universe is going to have to provide an answer. The question and the answer share a frequency. So once you ask the universe a question, the universe is bound to provide you the answer. So for this diagnostic, you would ask the universe, hi universe, what chakra am I vibrating at? And the universe is going to fill up one of these empty 7 bowls or 7 empty cups. It's going to fill it up with a color, right? With the color of one of the main chakras. So one of these is going to light up. And that is the answer that you're looking for from the universe. A vast majority of humanity vibrates at one of the lower 3 chakras. So the red, the orange, or the yellow. The root, the sacral, or the solar plexus, right? A very small percentage vibrates, I don't know, between 10 and 15%, vibrates at the anahata level, so the heart. About 5% vibrates at the throat, right? Over here. About 1% vibrates at the third eye, and 0.0001% vibrates at the crown, right? So just like giving you perspective. So if you see the crown, then congratulations, you're essentially enlightened and you're the next Buddha. Something along those lines, if you know what I mean. Or maybe you already are meditating in the Himalayas all day, every day. And so whichever chakra lights up, right, is perfect. Don't judge yourself for where you are. If you feel like yours is too low or, not good enough, just don't worry about it. It's not, you're not really competing with anyone. It's your life. If anything, you're competing with yourself, right? So wherever you are is perfect. All you need to do is go up a notch. How do you go up a notch? You do the meditation. The meditation is going to help you raise your vibration. Here's the meditation. You go and drop yourself into a bathtub filled with the color of the next chakra, the chakra that's one level up. I'll give you an example. If what lit up for you is the yellow is the energy of the go-getter, etc., etc. The solar plexus, sunny energy, achievement, all of that, right? Very masculine. The next one up is the green, right? And if you guys don't remember all of your chakras, you can just Google the chakras. Like the 7 chakras is like the easiest thing to Google, right? And so you can follow along. So essentially, if you're at the yellow, raising your vibrations for you would be going 1 chakra up, which would be the green, the heart center, the anahata. So essentially, in the meditative state, in the morning, these meditations are best done in the morning before you go and do the daily things, right? So you would want to imagine dropping your full body into a bathtub filled with the color of the 1 chakra up. And then just really feeling into those emotions. Feeling the feelings of that color, if that makes sense. Like really feeling into those frequencies, into those vibrations. And then allowing the cells in your body to just absorb those frequencies and kind of like wash in them, right? And it's literally just a 10-minute bath is all you need. And then you would walk out of that meditation and, your vibrations are going to be higher, right? So remember, it's always just 1 chakra up. So whatever your diagnostic is, 1 chakra up. In terms, this is kind of like a very, very simple exercise. One thing that I think could also be helpful for you to do, or for me to give you, is how does it feel at every chakra level? But of course, how does it feel on the positive side, right? So arguably, the lowest you can be in terms of the vibrational spectrum would be the root center. So if you are at the root center trying to go to the sacral, how does the sacral feel? The sacral feels like surrender. The sacral feels like being in the flow, floating in the waters of the Divine Mother. The sacral is very much connected to water, right? Whereas the root is actually fire energies. So if you need to raise your vibrations from root to the next level, you would imagine that you are in the orange bathtub, and you're essentially just absorbing the energy of higher cosmic waters. And this is also the chakra of pleasure and creativity and artistic self-expression, right? So that would be your level up. And those are the energies and the vibrations that you would want to imagine yourself absorbing in this exercise. If you're moving from orange to yellow, you essentially are moving from a very artistic space into the go-getter space. Here is kind of like how the yellow feels. The yellow feels very sunny. The yellow feels very confident. The yellow feels like an amazing relationship with your father or a cosmic father. The yellow feels like you're comfortable in your own skin. The yellow feels like energy, like you're full of energy. You aren't in an energetic state. There is an abundance of energy around you. There's no shortage of anything. Yellow feels like motivation. Yellow feels like being thrilled to be alive. Yellow feels like joy. Yellow feels like being willing and able to move the mountains. It is a beautiful energy. I love yellow. The healthy yellow is gorgeous, you guys. So that's the yellow. That's how yellow would feel if you need to upgrade to the yellow. Anahata, going from yellow to the green. If you're raising your vibrations from yellow to the green, it feels expansive. Green feels like love. Green feels like compassion. Green feels like being one with nature. Green feels like taking nature as a part of yourself, but also knowing that you're a part of nature and you're nature's baby. Green feels like being embraced by the universe, being cradled by the universe, being babied by the universe. Green feels like empathy. Green feels like opening up your heart to love and experiences. Green feels like non-judgment. Green feels like acceptance. Green feels like balance and harmony. Green feels like forgiveness. It's this beautiful emerald energy. It is so precious. And if you need to elevate to the green, I actually recommend doing that meditation in nature. Even if it's just 10-15 minutes, being in nature is really extremely healing for the center. All right, if you are looking to elevate from green to blue, very interesting place to be. Blue is all about self-expression. It's all about vocalizing. Blue is all about finding your voice and finding your truth. Blue, truly at how it feels though, is following your path. Blue is following your North Star. Blue is not just being in the flow. Blue is being in alignment with your greatest good and the greatest good of the universe. Blue is going for what it is that you came here to do. Blue is being connected to your higher self. Blue is navigating karma like a pro. Blue is when, you know how blue feels? Do you guys know like James Bond movies or one of these, I don't know, like superhero movies when, let's say it's James Bond, right? James is walking and there's, fire, like a crossfire and like bombs and, essentially, I don't know, like a lot of bad guys with like a lot of big guns trying to murder him. But it's like slow-mo and he's like no bullets freaking hit James Bond. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's like he's able to navigate and maneuver around those bullets. And that is kind of like how throat feels. It's like being at the right place at the right time. And this is a very different level of surrender, where like the surrender that you feel in the sacral is, here, universe, just do what you want with me. The surrender from the throat area is very different. It is the I know who I am and I know where I'm going. And I trust you, universe, to get me there. The trust. Blue is the trust area, the trust zone. If you're elevating from blue to third eye feels extremely expansive. Third eye feels like wisdom. Third eye feels like access and interconnectedness. Interconnectedness with anything in the universe. You go above, way above the planetary level. You go even way above the Milky Way, but it's feeling connected to star seeds. It's feeling connected to other planets, including remote planets. It's feeling connected to the cosmic codes and the light language. It's feeling connected to the entirety of who you are at soul level, meaning it's floating in the ether between space and time, having merged all of your past, present, and future lives together. And understanding that time, space is an illusion, right? So transcending that. Violet over here, third eye, feels like being intrinsically not just connected to the Akashic records, but almost like that, the Akashic record field, the informational field of the universe is like a layer over your own body. It's quite beautiful. My baby cat is making an appearance. Her name is Donut, and she has been acting up, and I apologize. Okay, so that's Violet. And last but not least is the crown. The crown is, oh my God, beautiful. The crown is white. Elevating from third eye to the crown is the most liberating experience ever. And that is what you experience when you're experiencing enlightenment. It is first connecting to source consciousness itself. It's connecting to God and Goddess. Not just within, but without, both. Like finding the God Goddess within you, as well as finding and connecting source outside of you. And it's becoming the pillar of light and building the pillar of light from the your lowest aspects to your highest aspects to source, right? And it is that feeling of, yes, complete unity and complete cohesion and complete understanding and knowing. But also, that feeling is very, very unique because once you actually vibrate at that level, you're going to be tight pressed to perceive separation. And it's very, very hard from that level to separate yourself from God because you don't fully know where you stop and God begins. And it is the most blissful experience ever. And it feels like liquid light, like being showered with liquid light. And it's just beautiful. All right. So I hope I didn't confuse anybody. I felt like this, I needed to give you this. Somebody needed to hear this. Somebody needed to hear pointers around like how different vibrations feel. I could probably make 10,000 more videos about how to raise your vibrations. This is just one perspective on this issue, on this topic. It's a very rich topic in spirituality. And this is just one suggestion that I personally find very helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments if you, what level you vibrate at. And also if you connect, to the level up in the bathtub, what you're feeling, sensing, what is your unique experience with this? Because each of you is going to have your unique experience. Each of you is a unique snowflake. Each of you is going to feel, sense, perceive something different from the others. So would love to hear your experiences. On that note, I hope that you are going to test this out and you're going to try out raising your vibrations. I'm giving you a big virtual hug and I will see you in the next video.